do you think that Karen or Lori will? Oh, you're there. Is everybody there?
Yeah, we're all here.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, let me start by sharing with you what our agenda is, and it's relatively simple. And then let's kind of work our way through it. So I'm going to, I'm going to go share screen, and then I'm going to go to this. And can people see this? Can people see the Webster agenda for January 20th?
No.
No. Huh. Okay, maybe I didn't share screen properly. Let's try that again. Share screen. Okay, so I do, wait a second, where is it on my screen? I share screen.
Something coming. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Okay, you got it? Okay. So the primary questions that we have to do with feedback so far on where the Globe activities are fitting into your curriculum. And we're wondering, we don't really know what you do when we are not there in science. We're a little bit concerned about whether we have been somewhat redundant. And we're curious what kind of follow-up questions or discussions you have in your class after we visit. And then after that, we know that you're moving into Q3 right now. We took a look at the curriculum bundles, and we're not sure whether whether we're matching them up correctly. What we saw is that grade 3 is life cycle and traits.
Correct.
Okay, and grade 4 is waves.
Yeah.
And grade 5 is properties of matter.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so let's discuss that, and then we're going to go off and try to figure out how we can support you with the materials that we have.
Okay.
And then we've got questions about whether student projects are something that's viable for you.
Okay.
We want to talk about technical issues like passwords for Globe to make sure that everybody can get into Globe, especially for entering data. And then we want to know if we can do this again.
Okay.
So how about we start with the first questions, what kind of feedback would you like to offer us about how the Globe activities fit into your curriculum? And maybe we just open it up generally like that.
So I think that the biggest thing is that we are married to these curriculum bundles that have been given to us. So our understanding is that we can meet these standards any way that we can, as long as we're meeting those standards. So what we tried to do was fit in Globe where it would meet, but the issue is that it's not always aligned with what we need to cover as far as teaching. Does that make sense?
So I can tell you, I know this is frustrating for you guys, and I can say for myself and probably for much of them, it's been frustrating for all of us because I guess going into this, I was not aware that these new performance expectations were coming down the pipe. So when we got to that day, remember, where we had to fit in the protocols? I mean, I was kind of like, oh my God. So it's been very difficult to get these protocols to fit in. And I just don't want you to think that we're difficult. We just, we kept saying to Donna, are we married to these things? And she said, absolutely. So we're kind of like, oh my God. So that's why we wanted to make sure that you had all of these performance standards. So because we can't seem to find a lot of protocols for Q3 that fit into fourth grade or third or 5th for third quarter. But if you had ideas, please, I mean, like, help us.
Stepping it back, this quarter, 5th grade aligned perfectly with Globe. We were able to, we
Come
studied
in, you gotta move in. Keep going, come on.
We studied Earth systems, so that aligned perfectly with what we did, and we're able to take the temperatures. And it was very good coming in once a week. We now uploaded data. I just uploaded some yesterday. We have science Monday to Thursday, so it fit very well. It aligned with what I needed to cover in the performance standards with Globe. Now, next quarter, I don't know how it's going to align because I'm doing properties of matter, heating and cooling, mixtures and solutions, and temperature. We might be able to fit something with temperature if I can somehow align it. So that's as far as 5th grade goes. It has worked very well this quarter.
And in third grade, it worked very well first quarter because it was the weather and climate and temperature and all that. We just kind of overlapped it to second quarter, and then the days you weren't there is when I covered energy and conversion of energy and all that. That's what I have been doing.
What I can say though is once a week, I definitely could continue with what we're doing, collecting the data, inputting it, because it's very valuable. We're using, Evangeliste showed us how to use a different website to compare, and then ask the students to email, which I did. The whole class emailed her prediction for the weather, and as far as 5th grade is concerned, weather is all year long, so we can tie in 5th grade.
Okay, so let me make it clear that we think of our job as figuring out how to match to you, so because this is, as our first year, an opportunity for us to discover what we have to be doing. That's part of this project. Actually, with respect to properties of matter, Lori, I think we should be able to do things that connect with Globe, and the team here will give that a lot of consideration. With respect to life cycle and traits, I was wondering how long the third quarter lasts, because Globe does have the phenology protocols, but that would only really take place in late March or early April as things begin to bud and bloom. I'm not sure where the third quarter extends that far.
Third quarter ends on April 7th.
April 7th. We might just be able to do that if you're allowed to have a little overlap.
What was the name of it?
What was the name?
Oh, it's the phenology. It's the green up, green down. And this would be the green up period.
Mhm.
And what we would ask at the in late March is that you select perhaps a tree or a bush, and your students observe it each day, or not each day, but 2 or 3 times a week, to see whether the buds have opened or not. And that's something that we would want to record. So that, and we might be able to, and we'll look into it, buy for you appropriate plants. I don't know whether they would work this year already, but there is an entire phenological garden that one can plant. It's just unfortunate that life cycle and traits is third quarter, just when everything is kind of dead. The one where we're going to have to work hard to figure out what to do, I think, is with waves. on the one hand, waves in science are everywhere, and we see them everywhere, and we analyze everything in terms of waves. The difficulty is that it's all at a rather abstract level when we're doing that. And I don't know, Magali, do you think we could do something with light at different wavelengths for remote sensing?
That's exactly what we have.
Yes, I think so. I mean, you know, we could do something related to the solar spectrum, you know, visible light and non-visible light.
Right, and we had thought about, back in July, we thought about the introduction to satellites and the remote sensing, how you had shown us the picture of over time, that one map, and how it had changed over time kind of a thing. We were thinking of things like that.
And when exactly are you planning to do that?
So that would be in Q3, which starts February 1st.
Good.
February 1st to April 7th.
Okay.
So if we can extend the notion of waves to periodic oscillations in time, then that also includes analyzing seasonal data.
Right.
And since patterns is one of the cross-cutting topics, I mean, and finding these things from empirical data, I think we might be able to work this in nicely for you and provide you with some potential lessons.
Great.
Okay.
Peter, also the sun photometers, they sense them at 2 different wavelengths. Might be kind of hard to appreciate at that at the level, but those would also be worked in as well.
Well, why not?
So I think that's a great idea, because that also is relevant to the size of the aerosol that you're looking at with respect to the wavelength. And so what kind of waves, what wavelength do you use for what size object? So I think we can work around this. And for properties of matter, there's specific heat, which is so important in terms of the ocean versus land. And I suspect that we'll be able to do things with properties of matter as well.
So,
And
I guess that's been the confusion, is we're like, oh my God, how does it fit? I mean, do you guys feel confused too?
yes.
Okay, as long as we just, you know, it's the elephant in the room. You know, it's just been very frustrating, and we can see it in you, and I'm sure you can see it in us. So I think this is so wise to have this meeting. So I think to maybe go to the next step, if you could actually tell us the exact protocols that you think. Well, actually, we have the book, just the name of them. We'll look at all of these, and then we will start plugging it into our oh, are you there? Into our schedule, and then forward it to you and see where you can fit back into us. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yes. Some of the material that we might be giving you, or lessons we're going to suggest, are going to connect to GLOBE and to NASA, especially to NASA. Some of the things may not be directly a GLOBE protocol, however.
Okay. Okay.
But they'll be more generally related to what NASA does and what NOAA does in collecting Earth systems information.
So we won't find it in this binder, you're saying? You guys gave us.
You may not, that's right. And we're working with NASA, especially with My NASA Data, and with the educators who are at NASA Langley. And we're going to notify them of these issues and request from them ideas.
So I certainly feel better now. You know, I feel better for our plan. So maybe we can see how this, you know, get this taken care of for this quarter, and then perhaps we can do the same at the end of March to prepare us then for fourth quarter.
Yes.
That,
How does that sound?
that sounds good.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm feeling so much better.
Because you're drinking a margarita.
Yeah,
I
right.
can tell.
Please, I'm not supposed to do that on federal money.
I know, we aren't either.
But what's making me feel really good is being able to talk to all of you about this and work with you, and your willingness to work with us is making me feel great.
Time is time and aligning our time. That's, I feel like that's all across the board, all of our.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen our schedules and we're like, where can you fit us in? Oh my goodness, it's like, you know, Sunday afternoon during the AFC Championship, possibly.
No.
You know, our time is just it's just all over the place. So I know that for myself and Shannon, that Friday from 9 to 10, and Fridays from 1 to 2. So I know that works for us.
We could do a Friday 1 to 2. If that was necessary.
Okay, so also Lisa, Fridays from 1 to 2. Can you do 9 to 10? Because that's before.
No, because then what would happen is if they can come to us for 9 to 10 and then Lisa 1 to 2, then they're not wasting a whole day. Like Friday might be a good day for them to come and cover.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Or maybe they could see Lori at a different time on Friday also.
Not
Friday.
Friday.
No.
So what we're talking about is perhaps go to Shannon and I on Fridays at 9, and then go to Lisa on Fridays at 1.
I mean, Fridays are so.
Okay, so we'll gather your schedule and schedules. We're also working, you might remember Kelly from Nathaniel Green, and so maybe we can work something in so that we're also going there on Fridays.
Okay.
So Friday is the only day that really works for you? Nothing on Wednesday?
For us.
That's great,
Are we
just
talking
Fridays
hours?
does not work.
So what do you?
My science block is Monday to Thursday from 12 to 1, so I can accommodate you any Monday through Thursday.
And I can do Thursday mornings also.
Uh-huh.
How about we send you a document that has all of the days that we all can do, and then you can figure it out from there.
If you could do that, that would make life,
Document, and we'll have a list of everybody that's participating, well, our school and Globe, and you can align it however you need to, and then if you give us a heads up when you guys want to come, or if you want to, all we would need to know is if you're teaching the lesson, or if you want us to teach the lesson, you just.
So why don't we start off with this? On Monday, we'll get one document to you with all of our schedules of availability. And we'll email that to you. In the meantime, so while we're working on that, if you guys can figure out where these protocols can fit into our standards,
That would be awesome.
you know, and then maybe we can, I guess, go from there.
sounds good.
Okay.
Let me ask another question though, and that has to do with doing projects, student projects.
Okay.
So Lori now has a team that's gathering data on surface temperature, and as the quarter goes on, we might add some measurements of soil temperature also to that, Lori. And I think the students would enjoy that as well. We're looking at a potential Globe conference, science, not exactly a science fair. It's not to be judged, but science presentations of what students have been doing, May 19th and 20th. And that will be a time that Globe and us would be able to fund some students to go to Philadelphia to make presentations on the data that they've collected.
And so you're talking just the fifth graders?
Well, no, I'm not just talking the fifth graders. I'm only talking fifth graders right now because that's all we've gotten started. My question really is, what about projects at fourth grade? What about projects at third grade? This is something that is important for Globe and NASA.
Okay.
And if we can't get this in by May 19th and 20th, then there is going to be another meeting over the summer. And I don't recall, maybe Janet, if you remember the dates in July for the annual Globe meeting.
July 30th and August 4th. It's the last week in July and the beginning of August. I'll make sure, double check.
Who chaperones or who chaperones?
Yeah, the 30th is a Sunday, and usually you want to come there, and the 4th is a Friday. And so we could, there is funding to send students to that. And you would meet students from all around the world.
What if you with their parents? With their parents? Who's chaperoning students?
You're asking all the questions that we can't answer immediately. But what we have been told is things can be worked out.
Yeah.
And is it in Philadelphia also?
Oh, no, it's in New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
I can host every.
Oh, she can, we'll sleep
That's
over
where I
Shannon.
come. That's on July 30th to August 4th.
Now, I have a group team, I have a team collecting the weather and weather data and cloud data and all that. Does that constitute as a project or it's something more?
My understanding, and Janet can stop me at any time, but Janet, let me try this because I'm trying to get myself educated. My understanding is all projects are welcome and all age levels are welcome. And the idea here is you should not be thinking in terms of, well, this is not something new and unique and, this is just something mundane. That's not the attitude we want to adopt. We want to honor any group of students who have been working on a regular basis collecting data.
Okay, and so here's an example from last year. There might have been 3 students working on a project, but maybe only one could come to the conference. So don't think that all of the students that did a project have to be there. Because with family vacations, it might not be possible. So you could have one student of that project there presenting to the whole Globe community.
And it has to be based on a Globe protocol, though.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
They have to use Globe protocols and Globe data.
So I think this will be a great opportunity. On the other hand, I don't want to put pressure on you guys. This project that we've got going is going to be going on for multiple years. And so if you don't have a student group this year, then maybe next year. We're all learning how to get this done. But if you do have a group this year, sometimes you grab the opportunity when it comes as quickly as possible.
We would be happy to mentor and assist as well. If you have some ideas but need to talk about it or discuss it, or if the students need a little bit of mentoring, we'd happy to be there to help them out.
That was my next question, because I have students that are willing. I even mentioned the idea of a science fair. They were excited, but they would need guidance and I would need assistance.
Yeah, I think this is as Peter was saying, it's an opportunity to really give students the chance to acknowledge what they've done and be recognized for that, and to go down and talk with a bunch of other students and also scientists at this meeting to share ideas. It's not a competition. It's not to be judged. Just to help them acknowledge that they're a part of this team, that they're also part of a group of young people that are interested in these projects. So it's to inspire and encourage more than to judge and compete.
Now, as far as the transportation and everything, is that all paid for, or is it on the parents and the child? Does anyone know that?
Yeah, the money should be available at least for one team through Globe, is my understanding. And through our grant, we'll make sure that there's money available for additional teams. I mean, there will be, of course, a limit to the number that we can afford, but that's our expectation.
And do we, the teachers, go or we don't go?
You may, or if depending upon your availability and what the chaperoning requirements are for your school district and your own requests, perhaps you go. Or let's put it this way. All options are open until we find out exactly what we cannot do.
That sounds good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions?
So, and since Janet hasn't stopped me on any of the things that I've said, I'm going to think that maybe I got it right.
So my schedule is Wednesdays at 9:30. Is that still happening, or are we changing the day?
Well, I guess the question is, can you be flexible with your schedule?
Yes, I thought Anna filled out, we checked off some things. Didn't she take it?
I just don't have it in front of me. Okay, Anna did give me some things, but if you could put together.
Well, because I thought we decided Thursday was a better day for you guys.
It may be for Dawn and for Anna. I cannot come on Thursdays, but I'm not necessary because Dawn can always do it.
Yeah.
Right, Dawn?
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
He says, but
I don't, okay. Yeah, everything else you feel better. Oh, yeah, no, I feel better with that.
Do you have any other burning questions we should talk about?
Gentlemen,
Is that a margarita?
it's
My last question has to do with, do all of you have passwords now for the Globe website that you can use for uploading data? Or if not, you can request them. I think I requested it for you, Karen, and for Agnes and for Lori.
For the summer though, in our training, we have it.
yeah, I had a-
Yes.
Okay, so I probably have it somewhere.
I entered data Thursday, so mine is working.
Okay, Lori, when you entered data, did you see that there is one for the Clarence Street Park?
Yes, I did. I entered it through that. We did
Oh.
temperature. And we did cloud observation, and I think that was it for that.
Okay, great. We might have to transfer the data that Evangeline entered when she was there to that data site, because I think there was a little confusion that time. But that's great that you can enter it, and if you can be doing that regularly, and then especially since your group is already moving along, we'll try to develop their project, and we're certainly available to work with them, as we are with Karen and with anybody else who wants to develop a project.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. I think at this point, I think I've covered everything. Don, do you have anything, or Magali, or Caleb, or Evangeline?
I just want to acknowledge your hard work and what I think has been how invested the students have been. And I just want to thank you all for, I mean, I feel, you know, I've been there a lot, and I've just seen, you know, they're working hard to write. They're asking how to spell things. They're trying to give as much as they possibly can, and they have seemed to be really energetic around that work. So that speaks to how what you're doing with them all the time that we're not there, and also the way you've offered opportunities and supported this work. So I want to, just as someone who's been there as much, let you know that on Friday afternoon too, that you're here doing this.
Could you do me a favor and check your Google Mail? Because I had the kids send you their prediction, and then the next day, another thing. And if you could just, I'm not used to this thing. And if you could just comment, like, just not on every kid, but, you know, just a general thing, just so that they know you read it. And I sent to you and Anna.
Yeah, I will be. I didn't have permission to get into that folder. I tried to. And so hopefully I'll be able to get into it now, because I requested permission.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So I certainly requested permission to get into that. Yeah. She might need the code, you know?
Oh, my
The
classroom.
classroom code. Yeah, I think I have to put this. We'll look into it for you.
Yeah, I was surprised because I immediately tried to get in. It said I didn't have permission.
So one thing might be because our Gmail is new for Providence, like using Google Classroom, but all of our Gmails are protected. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to get into it. If you're not able to get into it, we'll figure something else out. But I think you should be able to.
Yeah, because I'm glad to comment on their efforts for sure. I tried.
And I'm sure that the rest of the team would also be very interested. And so if you can give permissions to me at the same time, and to Don and to Magali and Caleb, that would be just wonderful.
Okay.
We'd like the students to know that we're all here.
Can you guys just send me an email with all of the email addresses? The Gmail. If you have a Gmail account?
So it should come from Gmail. So it's this has to be all through Gmail.
Yeah, I think so. Can you send us an email with your Gmail accounts on it so we can get you access to Lori's classroom?
Okay, this is an interesting question, because technically everything that we do at BU is through Google. And so our BU addresses in some sense are Gmail addresses.
Okay, so they should be fine.
So let me try that first, because otherwise my Google Mail is something that's separate, and is probably separate for the rest of the faculty here.
Yeah, it is.
So I just don't know. The thing is, so it's protected. So like we're on a school Gmail, right? Yeah, it's protected. So I don't know if it will allow people from outside to access it. If they're in Google Classroom, then everything. I don't know if it'll let them be it's our Google Classroom. You know what I mean?
When I sent it, it said to me that we allow them to send to an outside source, and I said yes.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to contact that guy from yesterday and ask
How to do it? Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I probably have everybody's email in the email, so that should be fine.
I'll send you a list anyway, and I'll include on that list, at least for myself, my Gmail account, just in case my BU account, which, as I say, is on Google.
If your BU account is a Gmail, and I know it doesn't say Gmail, but like ours is Providence School, it doesn't say Gmail, but it's through Google, so it would be the same idea. It doesn't mean they can get back into it. They'll get a message saying they have, look, somebody wants you to read this, but then you can, yeah, doesn't matter.
Don't ask me.
No.
I just sent things.
You're doing great with your Google Classroom.
I sent it. That's all I can say.
We'll figure it out on our end. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about it from our side, and we'll get to work trying to figure out how to match up as best we can with the standards and what's coming up next. And maybe unless somebody else from the team wants to say something, we wish you a good weekend.
Great.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks. This is great.
Can you work on a field trip for us? We want to come to BU and let the kids see the university.
Well,
lab and. Is that-
we're considering some kind of a capstone piece, so stay tuned.
All right,
But you're always welcome. You're always welcome at BU.
okay,
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
okay, awesome.
Great idea.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for all of the work that you're doing too, because we know it takes an awful lot of your time to come here and to help us plan, and we really appreciate it on your end too.
Yes,
So
we
thank
do.
you.
So mutual admiration here, because without you guys, nothing happens. Okay.
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye.